Cool. G'day everyone. My name's Simon. I work at Saab Australia as the program lead for mixed reality. So who is Saab Australia? So we're not the car company, which despite sharing the logo, we're actually a defence and civil security contractor. So headquartered up in Sweden. Globally, we've got about 15,000 people. In Australia, we're about 550 at the moment, doing a lot of work with the Navy for their Anzac frigates, future frigates, their submarines, that sort of stuff. We also do critical infrastructure for, prisons and infrastructure security and monitoring through our civil security division, which I'm a part of. So what am I doing here? I'll get to that in a little while and explain how we can bring technology from defence and civil security into different industries and leverage off the work that we've done for them. So we're a Microsoft mixed reality partner. So what that means is we've gone through their processes and they've ticked some boxes, and we've agreed that we can develop high-end applications that value add for different customers and stuff. So I've got a booth over in the corner, just near the United Water people. So come by, we can show you some of our geospatial information work that we've done, and we're looking to leverage as we go forward with MLA. And globally for the company, we're the centre of excellence for mixed reality. So we help out other parts of the company as they go on their journey to explore mixed reality. So I'll talk about some of the work that we've done and so some of the pictures. So the top left-hand picture with a bunch of students wearing the HoloLens headset. This is a museum piece that we had running for about 6 months in Adelaide. The museum was looking at waging peace as their exhibition. So how does the Defence Force help in times of peace as well? So we did a mixed reality experience where people could come in, walk around and explore a field hospital to look at in peacetime. If you think of the old MASH sort of days, we deploy a field hospital to help in a humanitarian disaster. So set up, one of the northern neighbours of Australia, they've had a big flood and cyclone, and how would the Defence Force help out with that sort of stuff? The middle one at the top, I'm from Adelaide, so I'll say Lego. Everyone else will say Lego. So we worked with some university students on a proof of concept of model-based assembly. So for a lot of complex manufacturing, especially we do up in Sweden, building fighter jets, that sort of stuff, we're looking at how can the HoloLens be used to help in the complex manufacturing space. So I'm not allowed to carry a fighter jet around in my backpack. I can carry a Lego model though. So we got some students to prove out that we could take away the Lego manual, put it holographically and explore the space and give you a step-by-step guide of how to put the car together. The students loved it. I'm a fan of Lego. My 4-year-old's too young to wear a HoloLens, but I'm sure he'll jump on board soon enough and start to explore, how does that help give a better 3D understanding than the manuals for Lego. The next one at the top right-hand corner, that's a mine site that we've imported. This is a mining company that had some data published on the web. We talked to them, they said, yep, go nuts, import the data, so we could import their raw data for them and then visualise it in true 3D. So that's the sort of experience we've got showing people today over on our stand. And so that gives better 3D understanding of the environment to users. The bottom left-hand corner, this is our launch product in the mixed reality space. So the sandbox which we delivered for Air Force, you can see a number of people standing around getting a concurrent experience, so it's a shared experience, and then they can explore the 3D world and understand what's going on in the environment. The middle one at the bottom is more of a marketing application, as well as all sorts of planes and submarines we build. This is an autonomous underwater vehicle, so used across different ports, oil and gas industry, so you can drive that around a trade show floor with an Xbox controller. So looking at how we can immerse customers to use our products, get a better understanding of how they operate and that sort of stuff, so they can complete a mission driving the autonomous submarine around the exhibition floor. It's a lot cheaper to chuck a HoloLens in my bag than to actually try and travel with this sort of stuff because it's very expensive to ship around. The bottom right-hand corner, that's one of our initial ideas for some training application. So the person on the left is actually a 3D recorded hologram. So you can record someone in true 3D. There's a number of studios around the world that will do that for people, and then you can show and immerse yourself in how they actually use the equipment. So whether it's, in this case, it's someone using a mine detector, in other cases it's how to improve your golf swing, all that sort of stuff. So you can see in true 3D how do you swing the golf clubs, how does someone else swing, and do analysis on that sort of information. I think this has been covered to death over the last couple of days. If anyone wants to go through it again, I'll have a chat, but everyone's probably heard enough of what is the different realities. So we're talking a little bit about why use mixed reality as well. So there's a number of use cases across all sorts of industries. There's some common things that keep popping up. Everyone's talking about the heads-up hands-free, which we agree with. So you can see the digital world, you still got your hands-free, and then you can start interacting with that differently and exploring, still using your tools and other sorts of equipment to manipulate stuff. So the picture on the right is another experimental project we did, tracking the real-world object. People go through a series of steps to how to change the different rotors on the helicopter or the quadcopter, and the HoloLens tracks the object as you move it around in 3D. So this was some early work with some QR tags to do the object tracking. So this one also highlights that, yes, you can see the real world at the same time. You can see the digital world, so you're not obstructing your view. So if you want to walk around and explore your environment, you're not going to trip over something because you're immersed completely in the experience. And then there's the collaboration piece, which we were very strong on, so that mixed reality is not the panacea and the solution for every problem. There's some specific problems. So collaborative work is a big one for mixed reality, where you can walk around the space and understand it, or have a shared experience from different locations as well, but see the same data. So there's some of the applications I've talked about as well. So what we've done with Defence, so this is not what the user experience is, this is the key art picture, this is basically the requirements we built to. So we worked collaboratively to work out what should the experience end up looking like. An artist far more talented than I am drew this picture for us, and we worked towards building that with the customers and with the different teams. So we worked, the team probably topped out at about 30 people for a little while to work on this one. Getting everyone from people with experience with Bing Maps to how to do map tiling and move the pan and zoom around the world, through to people with experience of integrating external systems. So this drags in 3D geospatial information. So for Defence, they were worried about what was on the map. They weren't so worried about under the map and under the ground, that sort of stuff. But they were very interested in integrating with real-time external systems. So if you know where a farm vehicle is, a cow is, an IoT device is, we can drag that into the map and visualise it in 3D to get a better understanding of what's going on at the time. Some of the benefits for this, so it reduces the cognitive load on operators. So what that basically means is, instead of looking at a flat map and trying to interpret what is the ground picture, what is the ground truth, you look at it and you see it. So you can just understand, everyone gets a common picture and understanding. You're not saying, is this a hill, is this a valley, that sort of type of confusion that can exist. And so within Defence, they have what they call the OODA loop, observe, orientate, decide, act. They're constantly doing that, whether it's in a training mission, an operational mission. Trying to reduce that decision cycle means they can act quicker than the enemy. So kind of by accident, we then fell into the resources sector. As you see, building aircraft and digging holes in the ground are kind of not, joined industries, but we fell into Defence through some work that we did for an initial launch customer for a product called InDepth. And this is used now across various customers in mining as well as oil and gas. So what we do is it's a visualisation and communication piece at the moment, and we're exploring a lot more different use cases with different customers as we go. We've had multiple occasions when people looking at their data in this system for the first time have found problems and errors that they've done with interpreting the data in the flat screen model. So head of exploration for one of our companies, we imported their data for them. He looked at it for about 30 seconds and was pointing out errors in their interpretation of data. So for them, if that solves them drilling a hole in the wrong spot, that's tens of millions of dollars that they might have saved by just viewing and understanding their data in a different manner. They can also walk around, explore their data and talk collaboratively with the geos. Hopefully they didn't get in trouble, whoever interpreted that data, but I'm sure they survived. And going through that sort of understanding and review process to make sure before they commit to drilling or before they commit to a plan, everything's as correct as it can be. We've had other pieces where clients looking at their drill holes, so they do a lot of drilling and blasting. They look at their planned drill holes, they then look at their actuals on top of that, and there's a big difference at times. And so the mine GM was a little bit horrified, because all the extra drilling is extra time, extra wear and tear on the equipment and all that sort of stuff. And then when they blast what they don't want to blast. The drill team had an interesting explanation. I'm not sure how it went down with the mine GM though. So I'm sure they've sorted it all out, and now they can know that as they get their data, they can use it more powerfully. So this was a good call for the mining industry, that sort of stuff. So some of the key benefits, I think I've talked about a lot of these as well, looking at understanding, communication, error detection, reviews, and that sort of stuff. So, and for our customers, they are in full control of their data and how it's visualised. So we, as well as the visualisation piece that we've got on display here, there's the back-end piece which lets people import their own data, configure it how they want it configured, and away they go. We're building things like an SDK at the moment, so if people want to integrate different live sources of data, they can go off and do that themselves. They don't always have to come back to us as their external systems change or as their data changes. We're trying to make ourselves obsolete going forward. So now we get to why we're here for, what are we doing at the moment. So for mixed reality for the farm, I think there's been a lot of talks about what it can do. I guess being a Microsoft partner, we've invested heavily in their technology and aware of what's coming with HoloLens 2, which was talked about by a lot of different groups over the time. So with the remote assist, the guides, the layout sort of applications that they're building at the moment. An interesting point for people to think about as well is the hardware can run multiple applications. So you don't buy a HoloLens or pick your device of choice just for that one application. Like your laptop, it can run lots of different software applications, so you're not investing the hardware just to solve the one problem. It can solve multiple problems as it goes forward. And then we do a lot of geospatial visualizations where our strength is. So what are we doing with MLA? We're looking at doing a pilot that will kick off soon. So if you've got interest, talk to Sean or Kelly down here and they can fill you in, and if you want to see the end result and stuff, we can organise some demonstrations and that sort of stuff going forward. We're looking at how does this sort of technology help understand with farm management and operations. So we'll look at importing some 3D imagery of the farm, integrating with a heap of IoT devices, and investigate, does this help? Can the remote person work with the workers on the farm, make better decisions and improve their understanding of the situation going forward? And if that works well, I'm sure we'll keep going. But yeah, and we'll just give everyone a good line in the sand. Does this technology help for this sort of work going forward? So that's me. I'll have questions later, I'm sure. Excellent.